Wow, that's a new experience for me. We're in a new kitchen. Look at this, isn't it a brand spanking new? It looks real good. So I'm gonna go destroy it with a cooking show. Where should we begin? Today on the cooking show, we will be cooking tomato sauce pasta. And I've recently come back from the shops and gathered all the necessary ingredients. So it should be good fun, but we better get our pots first. So for pasta, you'll need a big pot and a small pot. One for pasta and one for sauce. But before we do any of this, we're gonna have to cut up the vegetables. Fun. Anyway. Wow, that is... Now you see I brought this pot from home and you may or may not be able to see that there is rice burnt into that sucker. So it's absolutely perfect for our needs. First things first, we're gonna have to put on the pasta. This is the pasta, $1 from Spudshed. Now we're just gonna wait until that boils, and when it does, we'll put in the pasta. So until then, we'll start chopping up the vegetables. That's the one. Now, these vegetables will be for the sauce. We've got 2 juicy carrots. When I bought this, the label said paprika, but I mean, kind of just looks like a capsicum to me, and I don't really know the difference. So I'll put on both, I guess. These disgusting things, normally I wouldn't put them in, but you know, it's in the spirit of learning. I don't know. And tomatoes. Alrighty, the way you want to cut your capsicum is just, and then have to change it up a bit. And there you have it. They're all detached and just go in the bin. So just cut up your capsicum small, yeah? Just small pieces like that. You know, just like a couple of cuts are fine. Same with our paprika, we're just gonna cut into... yeah, we will be cutting into slices because there is capsicum eggs inside. And yeah, we're gonna cut that up exactly the same way. I know, how original of me. Now for carrots, you can grate them. I mean, take the skin off with the fucking whatever it's called, escapes my mind. And finally, we're on to the fungus. There's many ways you can cut a fungus. You should cut it out of your diet, for one. I know it's healthy, but fuck, this shit just tastes horrendous. But, you know, it was on the recipe, and we all know how I like to follow the recipe, don't we? Now we have our bowl full of vegetables. Our pot is almost boiled. Oh, see. The pot is boiled, so now we're just going to put in a handful of spaghetti, since we're only cooking for one person anyway. You know, get a good handful, you know. You should use as much as you need per person. I just happen to be especially hungry, as I often am. And you just, like that, you just put it all in and it will just sort itself out. While we wait for the pasta to cook, why don't we go over what we're doing? So I know you heard tomato sauce pasta and you're probably pretty curious. So tomato paste will be going in the pasta. I've got these 2 cans of tomatoes which will also be going in the pasta. I found this mixed herbs from the Spice Factory. That's also probably going to make an appearance later on. I'm not putting these in. I just was extremely disappointed by these. I thought these would be hot in any way that wasn't not hot. Your pasta might over boil if you keep the heat on, and your pasta might not cook unless you just sort of shove it into the water. There we go, that's better. So now that will just cook easier because I've put it closer to them. And of course, the key ingredient, the tomato sauce itself, to make sure it all comes together. Oh, I forgot the onion, of course. Yes. Alrighty, we have an onion. Don't worry about cutting things up too small, of course, because it's all gonna mix in at the ends. Yeah. That's all our prep done. What the fuck? I thought this was a brand new kitchen. Ah, of course. Fuck you. Oil in the pot, so make sure the onion doesn't stick. We're also going to need tools, which is this so long. Alright, we're going to turn the pasta off because it's half of it's cooked and the other half will cook in the boiling hot water. But now we're going to get into the sauce. That looks nice and hot. You always put the onion in first. Once the onion is in, it's gonna cook slowly for like a minute. So it's actually gonna be pretty quick. And then once that's cooked, we'll put in the, it's mince, my apologies. We'll put that in. Remember to keep stirring things because otherwise it will end up like my rice pot. And yeah, you could use it again like I have. You shouldn't, but you can. So, but don't burn things, please. Or we'll get sued. Alright, fuck. What's it that? There. Alright, that's the onions. They're cooking or cooked, one or the other. We're going to put the mince in now. So you're going to get your spice. You're going to pour spices on the meat, and then you put your hand into it so they're mushed down, and voila. Oh fuck. Remember to take off this thing off the mince. It will normally be on the bottom, or not there at all from my experience, but it's apparently there, so. At this point, your mince will be cooking. Half of it should be brown, half of it should be red. At that point, you may put in your vegetables, which is what I'm doing. Now that the vegetables are in, you're gonna stir them until they're softer, or soft, or I don't know, for like a minute. And once that happens, we're gonna put in all three of these things and a secret ingredient. Ooh. It says tear, but knives open things super easily, so. So every time you dump Italian diced tomatoes into the broth, the pasta, you just fill it up with water so you get all the tomatoes on the inside, because you don't want to waste them. People are way too wasteful these days. So now we're up to the secret ingredient. Sorry, the secret ingredient was the water. My apologies. But the tomato sauce, that's the other secret ingredient that you totally didn't know about. You just want a decent amount, to be honest. So the reason we put in the tomato sauce is because normally you'd put sugar in here. But you see, tomato sauce is like 100% sugar. So you may as well put in tomato sauce. So as you see here, in the pasta pot, it's all, hold on. Like, it's all pretty much done. Like, we could drain this here, which is what we're gonna do. And that's just gonna be ready a bit early, but that should be fine. Pasta doesn't go bad. So, pasta's drained, so we'll just set that down. And we're actually gonna turn this up a bit because it's taking too fucking long and I'm starving. I'm gonna put in more seasoning because you can never have enough. That was plenty. Yeah. When you do season, make sure you use like a quarter. Like, because you want to taste it is the thing. If you put in like a teaspoon, you're going to taste fuck all. If you put in like a third to a quarter, you're definitely going to taste the spice in that mix. Okay. So I forgot the tomatoes, so we'll just add them late and it shouldn't matter. I guess I'll save. I was going to save that flavor since we have so much fucking tomatoes and all this shit, but it's on the floor, so I'm going to fucking leave it there. So at this point, if you've been following all the steps correctly, and I know you have, your tomato sauce will be looking a bit like this. As you can see, there's tomatoes all through it, and they will be looking nice and red. And this is going to fucking slow cook for, I don't know, what's the time? 1 second. The time is currently 10 in the evening hour. It should take until about 12. And I was hoping to get an early night, and yet I decided to do this. If it's taking too long because you put in too much water, just turn up the heat and hope it goes quicker. You know what? I'm so hungry and I'm so tired that that's good enough. So we better have a bowl. There we go. You can really taste the tomatoes. Alright, never mind.